Two. Welcome to the fall sports season finale of This Week in Wyoming Cowboys Sports here on ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports and WyomingAthletics.org. I'm Jason Griefer. Once again, we're joined by Wyoming Assistant Athletic Director Jeff King. Jeff, we were just talking before we started recording, all smiles right now in Wyoming with one exception, which you're still trying to blame me for there. But nevertheless, there are a lot of positive momentum right now we're building up.
Yeah, no, it's a definitely exciting time. We're happy where we're at with our sports and going into an exciting postseason for sure.
Let's get right into it. Let's start off with cross country, and the girls take care of business. They went to win the CHL for the third time in the last 4 years. So obviously the precedent was set coming in to this year as far as what could be done, and they've since delivered the goods, winning the league title. At what point this year did the coaches realize they've got another squad here that can seal the deal?
I think they've known it all year round. It's something that we've built upon from the past, and we've had some really strong showings. And we were really excited to go into that CHL meet and win that title for the girls. And on the boys' side, we came in fourth, but it's still a pretty good season for them. And we got some really tough runners. We got some young runners, and we have a lot of them too. We have a good sized cross country team, so a lot to look forward to in the future for them as well.
Strength in numbers going forward as well. It only bodes well for the future, that's for sure. The thing I was talking about before when you're trying to blame me for something is the fact that the volleyball's forever long winning streak in the CHL came to an end last Tuesday, 152 in a row against a very, very good Taylor team. And I know you and I had a chance to talk about it before our broadcast of women's soccer. The Taylor's a very good team and really took it to your team, which is something it's very atypical, but nevertheless, it came to an end. However, we got to broadcast the match on Thursday against Indian Hill, and I got to tell you, and I know you were able to watch it courtside, this had the feeling of a regional final. It was that good between Wyoming and Indian Hill. Of course, your team able to pull it out in a 5-set thriller to win the league title for the 11th year in a row. So they're able to put the loss to Taylor behind them and quickly regroup and close out against Indian Hill. What did you think of that Indian Hill match, and also the ability for this team to regroup after the long win streak comes to an end, and how that could benefit them in the tournament?
Absolutely. I mean, we're just so proud of them, and going back to it, no blame, I promise. It's all streaks have to come to an end at some point in time, but I mean, it was one incredible streak. And after that game, our head athletic director Jan Wilkins, she mentioned, it takes a really, really good program to win 152 games, but it takes it takes an even better step after you do end that streak to come back and win a game like we did for the outright league title, the next night against Indian Hill. So we're just so proud of them. You're right. It did have a feel of, kind of going far in the playoffs, that type of matchup. We might see them again, but we got to take care of business, this week against North College Hill tomorrow night. So we're really excited. And it's just, the accolades, Coach DeLong keeps racking up on that volleyball side are nothing short of amazing. We're really, really proud of him and really proud of the girls and where that program is.
We look back on last season where things ended for your team. Obviously, ended in a league title. We already know that. But postseason, you get bounced in the regional semifinals to Bishop Fenwick in a 3-set sweep. So they take care of business rather quickly in that one. You're dispatched before even getting to the regional final there. What do you feel like the ceiling is for this team this year? Can they get to, let's say, a regional final, if not beyond?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the talent's there. When we're playing really well and everything is clicking, we can play with anybody in the state, and we know that. Super excited about where we are. And it's really exciting, too, because, we have the 3 senior leaders, but we also have some young talent on that team that has just come along this whole season. I mean, a couple times on the court, it was all sophomores and freshmen when we beat Indian Hill for the league title. So it's just a really exciting time. And when we're clicking, we can play with anybody. So as we've mentioned on kind of the boys soccer side as well, and a couple other sports, unfinished business from last year, I think we can use that same theme for volleyball going into the playoffs this year.
Yeah, one thing I was watching and noticing that match, to your point there with the youth, that sophomore class you have is absolutely frightening with where they are now, and to think they still have 2 more years of development to go before I'm sure you're going to send multiples of them onto the college ranks to play collegiate volleyball there. So rest assured, Cowboys fans, I'm going to go ahead on a limb and say a new streak is beginning, and it's going to be a long one with the talent that you have and with the way Coach DeLong has been able to build them up. Let's move on to the pitch, Sarah. Let's start with the girls first. We'll come back to the boys here in a moment there. They finished third in the CHL after a really hard-fought and a physical draw against Indian Hill last one, Joey, which we carried on WatchHSSports.tv. An exciting match it was. You come out of there with a 1-1 tie. So now you're going to get Roger Bacon to start the playoffs here. And the way things have gone for your team, it's kind of been an up and down year, and you've obviously played some very, very strong competition, not only outside the conference, but in the CHL as well. We know what Marymount did. They blew through the league. Madeira is very strong as well. Of course, Indian Hill and yourselves as well. So where do you feel like this team is at on that kind of up and down swing? Are they trending upward heading into the tournament?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we're trending upward. I got a chance to talk to a lot of the girls at the end of the week last week as well. They're excited about where we're at. We're really excited about getting a chance to play Roger Bacon again. And kind of redeem a loss that we had to them earlier on in the season. We've gotten a lot of players back who are healthy. Finally to be at full speed. And the last 6 games, we were 4-1-1 against some really tough competition. So we're in a really positive streak right now. I think going into this playoffs, going into a big game tomorrow night against Roger Bacon, we get to play it at home again, which is great. So we're really excited about that, and I think our girls are excited about where we are.
You talked before about unfinished business on the boys' side, and they're going to be a number 1 seed in the playoffs, starting against Blanchester. Of course, Marymount on the boys' side, they blew right through the league, and they're undefeated overall, and they're ranked number 1 in the state in their class. So you weren't able to get the league title for a 4th straight year. However, you talked about unfinished business, and you look back on last year's team. They fall to Tippecanoe in 4-3 in a thrilling regional final, but still not quite where they wanted to be there. How much now does the talk turn to unfinished business from last year, where maybe they felt like they had a state title team and couldn't get there?
I think that's kind of a big theme moving forward for them, and it has been all year. We have the talent, we believe, to get back and compete for that state title this year. Win the regionals, and I think it's one of the reasons we decided not to take a bye. We get to play again. We get to play tonight. Keep it rolling, keep us fresh. On the field playing against good competition. So we look forward to getting started tonight against Blanchester. We know they're going to be coming in, tough team, and wanting to knock off the top seed. So we're really excited about where we are. Had some really tough competition all year, and I know that unfinished business, Coach Jones is going to have those boys ready to go and hopefully make a deep run in these playoffs, because we know we have the talent to do it.
Given that they've been such a top team, not only in the CHL, but throughout Cincinnati and even the state for the last, however many years they've been on this run. When they come into a match like this early round, they choose not to take the bye against a Blanchester team. As you said, they're going to come in with nothing to lose, and your team has the target on its back. If Blanchester, they could send shockwaves throughout the state if they were able to pull the upset here. How important has the previous experience been for the guys on this team being the one that everybody is looking up to and everybody is chasing when you get into the tournament?
It's so important because we're used to it. You're used to having that target on your back going into games like this, knowing that you're going to get everyone's best shot. So having that experience moving forward, we have great senior leadership on that boys soccer team. And I think, like I said, that's one of the reasons why we decided not to take a bye. Just let's keep playing. Let's keep them fresh on the field against competition and make everyone know, look, we know we might have a target on our back, but we're not looking back, and we're looking to make a run at this thing.
Hopefully we're still talking about this team when we begin our conversations about the winter season coming up a little bit down the road towards the end of 2020. But if we're not, and say hypothetically they get to a regional final again, but are eliminated again in the regional final, would this be looked upon as a successful year or not?
I think anytime that you get a chance to get to the regional final, it's a successful year. But we have high expectations, and I tell them a lot. We have high expectations because they deserve high expectations. And it's something where we know we have the talent to get past the regional final. So, I don't want to think about that obviously at this point in time, but
sure.
if we do get there and that were to happen, I think the unfinished business theme can still keep on, but we can be proud of what we've done this year in the league, even though we fell short of Marymount, who's such a great team. But we've done a lot of really, really good things. So at the end of the day, it's been a successful year, but we know that there's a lot more success to be had.
Same similar story could be had for your football team. And this is, we're in unprecedented times here. And now all of a sudden, an instance of COVID comes up at Taylor High School, and they have to call the game off. So you automatically advance with them. Unfortunate for them, and to whomever that is that contracted the virus. Hopefully everything's okay, and that whoever that is, or if there's more than one, they get healthy sooner rather than later, of course. But now you've had 2 weeks off to just kind of just wonder what's going to happen. You start the preparations for Taylor. Now you don't prepare for Taylor. You got to forget about that and move on. You're going to get Graham coming up Saturday Saturday night to begin your playoff run in round 3. So interesting there. First, I want to kind of take us inside the program right now. And is there been any kind of sense of restlessness maybe amongst the boys this week because you've now had to sit for another week?
Yeah, I mean, and first and foremost, and you mentioned it, obviously we wish, all the best to Taylor and their program, and, hope that everyone is, healthy and well and everything over there with what happened. It's always a shame that when you miss a game, we kind of looked at it as, okay, well, you know what, now it's just 2 weeks to make sure we're as healthy as possible going into our next game.
Mm-hmm.
And, the preparation changes a little bit, but Coach Hancock does such a great job of keeping those guys prepared, making sure our bodies are staying, where they need to be and getting as healthy as we possibly can. It's definitely restless because our team wants to play.
Yeah.
But it's been an unprecedented year filled with a bunch of things that we didn't necessarily think were going to happen. We knew that we need to be ready for whatever comes our way throughout the season. So we're looking forward to playing Graham on Saturday night. I mean, they're 7-0. They're a great football team. It's going to be a good challenge for us, but a good way to start our streak, hopefully through the playoffs.
They've been impressive as well. I don't know that they've been as impressive as both your team and also Indian Hill. Indian Hill took care of business this past week, easily dispatching of Oakwood 42-3. That matchup, again, I don't know, we've talked about it here in the past, here on the show. That matchup is now 1 week away, and you're that much closer again to a regional final. Once again, you may have to go through each other to get there. I know Coach Hancock is not going to look past this coming week. It's 1-0 hashtag beat Graham. It changes every single week with him on the Twitter there, but fans can't help but look ahead and see that they could potentially see a very, very good Indian Hill team ahead of you, and if that comes to pass, you're going to have to go on the road and try and win that one. Since we're wrapping up here this fall season here this week, so we won't have a chance to talk about the matchup when it happens. If hypothetically you get the matchup with Indian Hill, how do you see that play out?
I mean, I know we're going to be ready to go. I think it has a little bit more anticipation around it just because we didn't get a chance to play them in the regular season. So, in the playoffs, the stakes that it's going to be, look, we're going to be ready to roll. We're going to move forward and be prepared as best as possible. And the Graham game is going to be a great way to, hopefully see where we are after these 2 weeks of rest. And we can't look past that, like you said. So either way, let's see how we do against Graham this weekend. We're super excited about that, but it's obviously tough to not, look forward and see Indian Hill there sitting there 2 weeks from now. But we obviously think we have a great team going in there. We have a really good shot to win that regional title and move forward and hopefully get back to the state title race.
I think a lot of people also had questions about this team, given the fact from the Graham perspective that Evan Prater's gone. What does Wyoming do? And we've seen what you've done. You've given up like 24 points in 6 games, something like that off the top of my head. I may be off by a point or two, but in either case, it's been ridiculous. And I think they've answered a lot of the questions that a lot of people had going into the season. How different would Wyoming be? And it seems like it's just next man up mentality. With that said, now that we don't have Evan Prater, you still have a loaded defense, an offense that has found its legs as the year has gone along. Do you feel like this is a team that could go on and win its second state title in the last 3 years?
Absolutely. We're not planning on losing games. We're planning on making that run and getting to that state title. Just like you said, it's been next man up. Our defense has stepped up so tremendously well. And then Brennan Pagan at the quarterback spot has done such a great job taking on that leadership role. And obviously we've changed the offense a little bit, but no matter who your offense is, after you lose a player like Evan Prater, it's going to change a little bit. Yeah. But you could say the same thing on the defensive side of the ball, losing a guy like Cam O'Gara and so many other great guys that we lost last year as well. So we've made the adjustments on both sides of the ball as coaching staff and as players to where we know we have the talent to win another state title, but we just got to take it week at a time. And hopefully it starts by taking care of business this Saturday.
It's been an interesting fall sports season all the way around. Obviously, a lot of success your programs have had, and we've talked about those here today as we're winding on the fall sports season. But I want to go back to late July, early August, mid August. We're going through a time where we don't know if we're going to have a fall sports season. We know what football is going to happen. The football season is going to get changed and thrown in for a big wrench there. As you look back, what are your thoughts on the fact that we're sitting here in mid-October and that we're talking about a completed fall sports season? Did you think that would happen in mid-August?
I mean, I'll be honest, the thoughts definitely came through my head like, okay, when's this thing going to get shut down? But our players, our families, our coaches have done such a good job at taking all the precautions that we need to. The teams that we've played have done such a good job. I think, our league did a really good job, as well as, any of our non-league opponents, making sure that we do what's most important to get our kids on the field and to keep them on the field. So right now, the feeling is just we're super excited that we're in playoff time. It's always an exciting time, no matter what type of season you had before. But this even more so, because there are a lot of people. I think I don't think you can go the way that we have without thinking, okay, are we going to make it to next week with everything going on? But
Yep.
here we are. We're super excited. We're proud of where we are with all of our sports teams, and we're just looking forward to hopefully continuing it on and having a great postseason.
We've talked here on the podcast before, and I've joked with yourself and Jan about in the past about Wyoming just being 2.8 miles of glory down Springfield Pike there, and it seems like that mentality carries throughout the community there. But I think one of the things also that doesn't get as much credit, and you touched on it just there talking about that the kids away from the athletic field, from practice, even from being inside the halls of Wyoming High School, have maintained their dedication to doing what they need to do to stay vigilant, to wear the mask, social distance, all that kind of stuff. And I think a lot of credit that goes to the parents of these kids, because I think as much as we talk about these kids being athletes, they're still 14, 15, 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. No kid at that age is going to always make the right decision every second of every day. I know that for a fact. I'm sure you would agree with that from your days gone by there. How invaluable is that to have a community around you that understands everything that had to go into place to pull this fall sports season off?
I mean, it's been tremendous, the support that we've had, and I think a big part of it, going from the families as well as the student athletes themselves. It's not only just for them and their season. A lot of them know they have classmates that are looking forward to a winter season, and a lot of that depends on what we do and how we handle it throughout the fall season as well. So they've been able to look forward and say, this isn't just for us. We want to make sure that we're playing basketball, that we're wrestling, we're swimming, we're diving, we're doing all that. And the families have embraced it. Our student athletes have, our staff here, the coaches. So it's really, really something special. And I feel very lucky to be a part of it.
And the next time we reconvene, it will be to start talking about winter sports teams. And I know a name that's going to come up a lot during that time is Isaiah Walker for your basketball team. Yeah, he was brilliant this past season. He's already picked a college where he's going in the future there. But, we're also, you don't have Evan Prater there now. So I think more even gets put on him. But setting Isaiah Walker to the side, because, again, we're going to talk about him a lot in the winter season because he's a 30-point machine every single night. What else can Cowboys fans look forward to when we start talking about winter sports?
Well, I mean, I think as well as Isaiah Walker, obviously, but his supporting cast, starting with the boys basketball team, we got some really exciting young players there as well. With the girls basketball, we got a new coach. Really excited to have Jermaine Isaac come into town. That culture is having a really, really good a change of winning culture and working hard, getting out off-season workouts in. So those the girls have worked so hard. Our swimming and diving, we have a new dive coach as well, and Isaac Karn. And where we are with all of those programs, I think it's just we're going to continue on the excellence that we've had. And with wrestling, we had a lot of state competitors. Unfortunately, they weren't able to get there because of what happened with COVID at the end of last year.
Yeah.
It's excited all year, all around in all these sports. We have some individuals that will really, really, I think we'll be talking a lot about over these next few weeks, and maybe some names that even people don't know yet they're going to by the end of the winter.
Lastly, here before I let you go here, you've evolved into this role that you're in now. at Wyoming as an assistant athletic director. And we've talked here. We've had, Jan was with us the last few seasons here on the show here. But as you've moved through your role as assistant athletic director amidst a pandemic and all the challenges that come with the administrative role to begin with, let alone this, what have you learned from Jan that has made you better in your role?
I mean, it's really been dealing with people, dealing with our parents. Was thankfully we have such a great group of parents, dealing with the coaches, and just making sure you manage your skills, time wise and everything, which she's been so great at throughout teaching me and making sure you just get every single thing done checklist wise that keeps these kids playing. It's the list of stuff that I've learned from her, we wouldn't have enough time to go through it, so I'll
Good
tell you
answer.
that. Yeah, I'll tell you that right now. So it's just it's ever evolving. I'm gonna continue to keep learning from her. I'm very, very lucky to have come in this role with having her to learn from and to be the head athletic director. So we're excited about where we are. I know she's super excited about it, and we look forward to more great things to come. And hopefully, starting to roll like this with this type of year. Hopefully, it's all up from from here on out with more years to come.
Yeah, no doubt. And the bar's definitely been set high, but you've had one of the best to learn from as well here, Jeff. Certainly appreciate your time here today and throughout this fall sports season talking about Wyoming athletics. It's been a really terrific fall sports season.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Jason.
That is Wyoming Assistant Athletic Director Jeff King joining us for the fall sports season finale of This Week in Wyoming Cowboy Sports here on ESP Media, powered by Sidearm Sports.